Sayalay. We would like to invite Sayalay to kindly start the DhammaTalk now.
Good evening, everybody. Today, I would like to explain how to analyze Opet Upakalapa. Today, the matter is very profound, so you please listen carefully. If we practice 4 elements meditation in our body, when we can concentrate the characteristic of 4 elements, we will see the body is broken down into Rupakalapa, translucency Rupakalapa, and Opet Rupakalapa. Translucency Rupakalapa are 5 kinds: Jaku Pasada Rupakalapa, Sota Pasada Rupakalapa, Gana Pasada Rupakalapa, Jiwa Pasada Rupakalapa, Kaya Pasada Rupakalapa. And then Opet Rupakalapa are 6 kinds: Chitaja Rupakalapa, Udaja Rupakalapa, Aharaja Rupakalapa, Bhava Rupakalapa, Jivita Rupakalapa, and Hadya Rupakalapa. If we analyze these 11 kinds of Rupakalapa, we can see Paramattha Rupa. Previous DhammaTalk, I explained how to analyze translucency Rupakalapa. So today I will explain how to analyze Opet Rupakalapa. Firstly, I will explain Chetaja Rupakalapa. The materiality Rupa is produced by consciousness or Cheta is called Chetaja Rupakalapa. So in our body, Chetaja Rupakalapa arises because of Cheta or mind. How to analyze Chetaja Rupakalapa? Before analyze Chetaja Rupakalapa, you have to discern how does Cheta produce Chetaja Rupakalapa. Okay, firstly, you need to contemplate concentration. If you practice Anapanasati meditation, you have to contemplate concentration and take 4 Rupa Jhana. If you practice 4 element meditation, concentration should be attained and take Upachara Samadhi. Okay, after contemplating concentration, then you try to look at the mind with the concentration. Then you wiggle your 1 finger back and forth. So after that, at the time you will see the large number of Rupakalapa are arising in the mind because the mind wants to wiggle the finger back and forth. After that, this Rupakalapa spread out the whole body: eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, and then body door after the mind door, until the finger. Okay, this Rupakalapa are called Chetaja Rupakalapa because this Rupakalapa arise because of the mind or Cheta. When you analyze Chetaja Rupakalapa, you will see 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa: earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, and nutritive essence. Okay, among these 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa, the characteristic of wind element, Puchin, is predominant. So because of the Puchin, the finger can wiggle back and forth. Okay, Chetaja Rupakalapa are not translucent. And then Chetaja Rupa can arise only inside our body, cannot arise outside our body. Okay, suppose to say in your body, Chetaja Rupa arise because of your mind. The mind can produce Chetaja Rupa. In the same way, in the other body, Chetaja Rupa arise because of that person's mind. So in our body, we can see Chetaja Rupa only inside our body. We cannot find outside our body Chetaja Rupa.
Jadi di dalam tubuh kita, kita dapat melihat cita rupa kalapa hanya dalam tubuh kita. Ya, kita tidak dapat melihat cita rupa di luar tubuh kita.
Okay, so any cita can produce cita rupa kalapa. So when we practice anapanasati meditation, when we are meditation time also, cita rupa can arise because we are intention to breathe in breath and out breath, because of the mind can produce many cita rupa. So if you attain jhana concentration, or if you get when you practice vipassana meditation, also the same. When you can concentrate the object of vipassana meditation, at that time also in our body, many citta rupa can arise. So any citta can produce citta rupa kalapa. So when you wherever you went, for example, you want to movement your body, you want to practice meditation, and sometimes just now you want to wiggle your finger. So at that time, citta rupa can arise few times, maybe one generation or two generation, etc. But when you practice, when you have the jhana concentration, citta rupa can produce many citta rupa kalapa. The concentrated mind can produce many citta rupa kalapa. We have to understand, only we can find citta rupa inside only our body. So in the same way, someone they practice meditation, they can discern citta rupa inside their body. They cannot discern outside other body. And then citta rupa kalapa can arise only living being, cannot arise non-living being. Because living being is composed by nama and rupa, or body and mind. So citta rupa can arise in the human being, and then in the animal being, in the deity being, in the Brahma being. However, non-living beings such as the tree or building or other animals, other materiality, these are composed by only rupa, no nama. So we can find citta rupa in non-living being. The next one is uddhacca rupa kalapa. The materiality is produced by temperature, or Uttu is called uddhacca rupa kalapa. So in our body, uddhacca rupa kalapa arise because of the characteristic of fire element, tejo or Uttu. The fire element has two characteristics, hotness and coldness. And then the fire element consists in all rupa kalapa. Then the fire element from all rupa kalapa can produce uddhacca rupa kalapa. And then uddhacca rupa kalapa are not translucent. When you analyze uddhacca rupa kalapa, you can see 8 kinds of paramata rupa: element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, and nutritive essence. Uddhacca rupa kalapa are spread out in the whole body. It is because the characteristic of the fire element, hotness or coldness from each rupa kalapa, reproduce uddhacca rupa kalapa generation by generation. For example, if you analyze the uddhacca, how does uddhacca rupa kalapa reproduce new rupa kalapa? No? For example, if you analyze uddhacca rupa kalapa, you can see 8 kinds of paramata rupa. Then you try to discern these 8 kinds of paramata rupa one by one, such as element, water element, fire element. When you discern the fire element, you can see that the fire element produces new uddhacca rupa kalapa. This is the second generation uddhacca rupa kalapa. It is because it is produced by first, second generation is produced by fire element from first generation uddhacca rupa kalapa. Again, when you analyze second uddhacca rupa kalapa, the fire element from second Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa produce again next new Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. This type of Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa is called, this is the third generation Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. This is produced from the fire element of the second generation Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. In this way, fire element reproduce Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa generation by generation. In the same way, in our body, eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door, there are many Rupa Kalapa. Each Rupa Kalapa consists at least 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. For example, in the eye door, there are Jakku Dasaka Rupa Kalapa, Kaya Dasaka Rupa Kalapa, Bhava Rupa Kalapa, Jivita Rupa Kalapa, Chittaja Rupa Kalapa, Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa, Haraja Rupa Kalapa. There are 7 kinds of Rupa Kalapa arising in the eye door. So in the Jakku Dasaka Rupa Kalapa has 10 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. And then Kaya Dasaka, Kaya Rupa, Kaya Prasada, no? Kaya Prasada Rupa Kalapa has 10 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. And then Bhava Rupa Kalapa has 9 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. Chittaja Rupa Kalapa has 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. In the same way, Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa has 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. And then Haraja Rupa Kalapa has 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. So in our body, each Rupa Kalapa consists at least 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. From those Rupa Kalapa, fire element can produce many Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa generation by generation. That's why Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa spread out in the whole body. So we can discern Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa not only in our body, but also outside our body, living being and non-living being. So such as that, as a living being, like the human being, and then Jiva being, animal being, Brahma being, we can discern all the living being, we can discern Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. And also non-living being also we can discern, such as the tree or building or other materiality. So we can find Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa in non-living being also. So how to discern Uddhacca Rupa in materiality? For example, most of the people think the tree. Now we try to discern in tree. Most of the people think the tree has jivita or life faculty, and then they believe the tree can grow up because of the jivita. Actually, tree is composed by Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. So because of this, most of the people believe if you cut the tree, you will offense Panatipada Karma or something like this. No? So if you can practice Rupakammatthāna, you try to discern if you want to know tree have jivita or not. No? So you try to discern 4 elements in the tree. You can see if you then you try to concentrate the characteristic of 4 elements. You can see many Rupa Kalapa. So when you analyze each Rupa Kalapa, you will see only 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa: element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, and nutritive essence. You can find Jivita Rupa in the tree. Okay, and then after you analyze the tree, you can see many Rupa Kalapa in the tree. So after you analyze, among the 8 kinds of Paramattha Rupa, Uttu or fire element is producing new Rupa Kalapa, first generation to next generation. So these Rupa Kalapa are only Uddhacca Rupa Kalapa. So you have to understand that the tree grow up not because of Jivita. It is because of temperature or Uttu. In the same way, the building or other materiality They can last long because of this materiality can last long because of temperature, maybe hotness or coldness. So because of this, when we plant the tree, some plant some we have to plant in cold place. No, this is suitable for this tree. It is suitable for cold place. They can grow up in cold place. Some this tree can grow up in hot place. No, so not because of jivita, because of the temperature or utu. No, in the same way, some material we have to keep at the cold place. Some material we have to keep the hot place, dry place or hot place, because of all the non-living being, because of temperature or utu can last long. Okay, next one is aharaja rupa kalapa. The materiality is produced by nutriment, in Pali called ahara. No, it is called the materiality produced by nutriment or ahara is called aharaja rupa. So how to analyze aharaja rupa kalapa? Before analyze aharaja rupa kalapa, you have to discern how ahara produce aharaja rupa kalapa. Okay, how to discern aharaja rupa kalapa? So how you have to understand step by step, no? How ahara produce aharaja rupa kalapa. At the first stage, when you are eating time, you have to discern the characteristic of four elements in the food. So you can discern the food from the mouth step by step, no? The food from the throat, until you discern the food until the stomach place. Okay, in those places, you have to see rupa kalapa by discerning four elements in the food. If you have enough concentration, you will see many rupa kalapa in the food. If these rupa kalapa are Udaja rupa kalapa and not these rupa kalapa are not translucent. Okay, how do you know these rupa kalapa are Udaja rupa kalapa? When you analyze these rupa kalapa, you will see from the utu or fire element, new Udaja rupa kalapa are arising. So this is the first stage. So you have to see Udaja rupa by discerning four elements in food. Okay. After discern first stage, you have to discern next step. For the second stage, at the second stage, you discern four elements at the bottom of the stomach. Then you look at this place with the concentrated mind. You will see many rupa kalapa. These rupa kalapa are jivita rupa kalapa, and also these rupa kalapa are not translucent. Okay, if you analyze these rupa kalapa, you can see 9 kinds of pramata rupa. What are these? Earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, nutritive essence. And number 9 is life faculty or jivita rupa. Okay, among these 9 kinds of pramata rupa, the fire element, hotness, is called digestive fire. It can help the food for digestion. So at the second stage, you have to see jivita rupa kalapa at the bottom of the stomach. After that, we have to discern the third stage. No? At the third stage, when the food reaches to the stomach, the fire element of jivita rupa kalapa support to the oja from udaja rupa kalapa. At the time, oja from udaja rupa kalapa produce new rupa kalapa. These rupa kalapa are aharaja rupa kalapa and not translucent. Okay, when you analyze aharaja rupa kalapa, you can see a kind of paramata rupa. This rupa kalapa is, you have to understand, first generation of aharaja rupa kalapa. After that, this first generation aharaja rupa kalapa spread out the whole body, such as eye door, ear door, nose door, tent door, body door, and mind door. So you have to understand, at the third stage, the food produce third generation aharaja rupa kalapa, and these rupa kalapa spread out the whole body. Okay, after that, you have to descend that fourth stage. So at the fourth stage, after spread out the whole body, when the first generation aharaja rupa kalapa reach to the idol, you have to understand, in the idol originate, there are 7 kinds of rupa kalapa. They are arising in the idol, such as Jakudasaka rupa, Kaya dasaka rupa kalapa, Bhava rupa kalapa, Jivita rupa kalapa, Chitija rupa kalapa, Uttaja rupa kalapa, Aharaja rupa kalapa. Okay, in the idol, if they all jump from what example I trying to explain, Jakudasaka rupa kalapa. In the idol, if they all jump from first generation Aharaja rupa kalapa, support to the all jump from Jakudasaka rupa kalapa, with the help of fire element from the Jivita rupa. At the time, all jump from Jakudasaka rupa kalapa produce new Aharaja rupa kalapa. This is the second generation Aharaja rupa kalapa. So these rupa kalapa are also not translucent. So when you analyze second generation Aharaja rupa kalapa, you can see a kind of Paramata rupa too. Okay, in the same way, in the idol, all jump from first generation Aharaja rupa kalapa, support to the all jump from Kaya Pasada rupa kalapa, all jump from Bhava rupa kalapa, the all jump from Jivita rupa kalapa, the all jump from Chitaja rupa kalapa, all jump from Uttaja rupa kalapa, and then all jump from Aharaja rupa kalapa. At the time, the all jump from those rupa kalapa can produce new Aharaja rupa kalapa again. Those Aharaja rupa kalapa are also called second generation Aharaja rupa kalapa. Okay, in this way, Aharaja rupa kalapa reproduce through many generations in eye door, ear door, nose door, tent door, body door, and mind door. Next one is Bhava rupa kalapa. We see this rupa kalapa in the whole body. So when we analyze, like the eye door, ear door, nose door, tent door, and body door, every door in our body, the whole body, we can see Bhava rupa kalapa. But we have to understand, women have only woman Bhava rupa. So woman body Bhava rupa spread out, can spread out in the whole body. In the same way, men have only men Bhava rupa. Men Bhava rupa also spread out in men, the whole body. So we can find Bhava rupa kalapa, eye door, ear door, nose door, tent door, body door. Every door we can see Bhava rupa kalapa. So if you want to discern Bhava rupa kalapa, you can discern an eye door or body, nose door or tent door or body door, or every door you can discern. So when you, after you discern, for example, you want how to discern Bhava rupa kalapa, you try to, if you want to discern in body door, you try to discern the characteristic of 4 elements in body door. You will see many rupa kalapa. Bhava rupa kalapa are not translucent. So you try to, when you look at the Bhava rupa kalapa, you can feel the female body have female Bhava rupa sign. You can feel, no? So when you analyze, you can see 10 kinds of Paramata rupa. What are these? Earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, nutritive essence. And then number 9 is Jivita rupa. Number 10 is Bhava rupa. The Bhava rupa, if you are female, you can feel the sign of the female Bhava rupa. No? If you are man, when you discern Bhava rupa, number 10, Paramattha Rupa, Bhava Rupa is you can feel the sign of the Me Bhava Rupa. Okay, another one is Jivita Rupa Kalapa. We can see Jivita Rupa Kalapa are also in the whole body. These Rupa Kalapa are also Opet Rupa Kalapa. When you analyze, we can see 9 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. What are these? Element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, nutritive essence. Number 9 is Jivita Rupa. So the characteristic of Jivita Rupa is protecting or sustaining to other Paramattha Rupa in the same Rupa Kalapa. For example, when you analyze Jivita Rupa Kalapa, you can find 9 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. Number 9 is Jivita Rupa. This Jivita Rupa protect to 1 to 8, all the remaining, all the other Paramattha Rupa in the same Kalapa to sustain. So this Rupa Kalapa protect. You can feel that like the Jivita Rupa is protecting to all the Rupa Kalapa to sustaining in this Kalapa. Okay. Okay. The last one is Haryawuttu Rupa Kalapa. How to analyze Haryawuttu Rupa Kalapa? So firstly, you have to discern 4 elements at the bottom of the heart. It is because many Harya Rupa Kalapa spread out in the bottom, in the blood of the heart. So if you want to discern this Harya Rupa Kalapa, you need to enough you need concentration. No? After you contemplate concentration, if you have enough concentration, you try to discern the characteristic of 4 elements at the bottom of the heart, and then you can see many Rupa Kalapa at the bottom of the heart. These Rupa Kalapa are also not translucent. When you analyze this Rupa Kalapa, you can find 10 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. So before you analyze, you trying to concentrate on the middle, then you winkle your finger, you try to see the consciousness that want to winkle the finger. You will see that consciousness arise depend on Harya Rupa Kalapa. So, so I will explain again. Before analyze, which one is Harya Dasaka, Harya Rupa Kalapa? So when you discern 4 elements in the bottom of the heart, you will see many Rupa Kalapa. And then you choose, you pay attention, not translucency Rupa Kalapa. After that, you try to concentrate on at the heart base, and then you try to winkle your finger. So you want to winkle your finger, this consciousness, you will see happen in this Kalapa. So you can decide this is the Harya Rupa Kalapa. Okay. Okay, after you understand, this is the Harya Rupa Kalapa. So you try to analyze, look at inside this Kalapa, and you try to discern the Paramattha Rupa 1 by 1, element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, smell, taste, nutritive essence. Number 9 is light faculty. Number 10 is the Haryawuttu Rupa. So how you know this is Haryawuttu Rupa? You will see the consciousness that want to winkle the finger, it happen on Haryawuttu Rupa. Number 10, Paramattha Rupa in happening. So you can decide this is the Haryawuttu Rupa. So when you analyze Harya Rupa Kalapa, you can find 10 kinds of Paramattha Rupa. So by analyzing Harya Rupa Kalapa, we can understand the mind arise in the Haryawuttu Rupa. Most of the people think that the mind arise in the brain. Actually, the mind arise depends on Hariyawuttu-rupa. So sometimes when your mind are very sad, you say your heart pain or heartbroken. You never say, you don't say my brain pain or my brain broken. So whatever you are feel, you are happy or you are sad, you will feel in your heart, not in brain. So now I already explained how to analyze translucency Rupakalapa and Upet Rupakalapa. So in our body, 11 kinds of Rupakalapa. If we analyze 11 kinds of Rupakalapa, we can see Paramattha Rupa. So if you want to understand how to analyze Rupakalapa, you have to listen this DhammaTalk again and again. So one time listen, not understand. So you have to listen many times, so you will understand. Because this is to see Paramattha Rupa is very important for those who practice Vipassana meditation. Because the Paramattha Rupa are the object of Vipassana meditation. Without seeing Rupakalapa, you cannot know Paramattha Rupa. So to see Rupakalapa, you have to practice 4 elements meditation systematically. If you don't see Paramattha Rupa, it is very difficult to understand the general characteristic of impermanence, suffering, and namesake. So if you see your body, your leg, your hand, etc., all these are concept vignati. You haven't seen Paramattha Rupa. And also, if you practice Vipassana, the movement of your body, it is also not Vipassana stage because you not yet see Paramattha Rupa. So actually Vipassana is we have to practice the arising and passing away of Paramattha Nama Rupa as impermanence, suffering, and namesake. So to practice Vipassana meditation, you have to penetrate Paramattha Rupa in the whole body, such as eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door. And also the Buddha taught, if one who wants to practice Vipassana, he has to penetrate Paramattha Dhamma in the body. So if you want to practice Vipassana meditation, so you need to penetrate Paramattha Rupa in your body. So how to penetrate Paramattha Rupa, I already explained. You have to practice 4 element meditation step by step systematically. Then you try to practice 4 element meditation. You can see many Rupakalapa in your body. So trying to translucency Rupakalapa. All the Rupakalapa summarize only 2 kinds, no? Translucency Rupakalapa and Upet Rupakalapa. If you analyze translucency Rupakalapa and Upet Rupakalapa in your body, in eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and mind door, you can see, you can understand, you can penetrate Paramattha Rupa in your body. To listen DhammaTalk again and again to understand how to see Paramattha Rupa. I already explained as much as I can. Okay, after seeing Paramattha Rupa, you have to understand there are causes too. Because the Buddha taught, without understanding the relationship between cause and effect, paticca samuppada, no one can attain Nibbana. So next DhammaTalk, I will explain the causes of Rupakalapa.
Sayalay, now we're entering Q&A session. Brother Edison will lead the Q&A session.
Sayalay, I have 2 questions. The first one, as we know that there are 75 citta that can produce citta jarupa. Is it, Sayalay? Yeah. Is it any difference between the citta jarupa that have been produced by the akusala citta and the mahakusala citta? I know that they are awini boga being produced, but that does their quality difference like that? That's the first question, Sally. And the second one,
citta also can produce.
Yeah.
can
Yes,
produce
Ali.
Citija Rupa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it difference the quality of the Citaja Rupa? Is it different from the one that
Quality
produced by
is not
the?
different. The
Okay.
time, how many times happen different.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like you want to wrinkle your hand. This mind, this consciousness can produce Citija Rupa maybe 2 times or 3 times. If you practice jhana concentration, the consciousness, jhana consciousness can produce many million of the, many Citija Rupa.
Oh,
The speed,
okay.
the produce is different, but quality is the same. Pramata Rupa all are the same. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the people who just come up from jhana can be different. Their body will be more shiny like that, really, because of the Citaja Rupa.
Because of maybe the body have maybe Citija Rupa produce many Citija Rupa, and they have the color, no? Varna, no? Every kalapa have Varna. Maybe because of the color, many color, so become shiny or bright or something like this.
Oh, okay, Sally. Okay. Thank you, Sally. And the second question.
Okay, and please wait me.
Okay.
Not only the jhana concentration, vipassana concentration, consciousness also. No, when you practice vipassana meditation, you can concentrate on the vipassana object. So at that time also many Citija Rupa can produce. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Sally.
Okay.
Thank you, Sally. And the second one, when in the DhammaTalk, Sayalay said that the aharaja rupa spread over all our body, including the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the mind door. The mind door here is the hadai watu, the watu dasaka, right, Sayalay? Not the bawenga, right?
But the mind door is the heart, the whole heart.
The whole heart. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sayalay. Thank you. Sadhu.
Sayalay.
Yes.
Actually, the first question from Sis Magdalena, the main point is it any different the Citaja Rupa produced by the Maha Kusala Cita and Akusala Cita?
Actually, if Maha Kusala Cita more can produce Citija Rupa. This is different, but the individual, the Citija Rupa is the same. The Paramata, all the Paramata Rupa are the same. Okay. How many times can produce only different?
Okay. Thank you, Sayalay.
Sayalay, this question, 2 questions from Brother Yanto is about meditation too. The first question is, for Vipassana meditation, should we expert in the meditation or on the Anapanasati first or not?
Sorry?
Before we go to Vipassana.
Yes.
Should we be expert in the Anapana meditation first or not?
Depend on meditator. If they want to attain jhana concentration, they practice Anapana meditation. After that, they try to practice 4-element meditation, and then they descend Rupa and Nama. After that, practice Vipassana meditation. But some meditator, they want to practice Vipassana meditation. Even though they want to practice Vipassana, they need to know the object, either Nama or Rupa. So especially Vipassana, Yanika person, the Visuddhimagga instructed that the easier is to discern Rupa is the more easier to see Paramata Rupa. If they want to see Paramata Rupa, they don't want to attain jhana, they need to practice 4-element meditation. To see Paramata Rupa, after that, they try to discern Paramata Nama. After that, they can practice Vipassana meditation.
Sayalay, for the second question, when I meditate anapanasati, I can feel that my breath becomes softer and softer, and then I feel my body swing, and then I feel very comfortable. In this case, only until which state for my meditation, or that what I feel is just a kind of obstacle to hinder my meditation.
Obstacle. Which
Obstacle.
kind?
Yeah.
That means disturb.
Obstacle. Yeah. Disturb. Yeah. Just a disturbance. Yeah. For my meditation.
Okay. First, you thought practice meditation, the breath subtara and subtara. Because of anapanasati meditation, the nature of anapanasati meditation. Anapanasati meditation is not like other meditation subject. For example, the people they practice 4-element meditation. The beginning, the characteristic of 4 elements will not be clear in their mind. If they can, the characteristic of 4 elements in their body, they are very clearly understand. In the same way, when they practice like the Kalagasina, the beginning when they practice like Kalagasina, the object not so clear. After that, they can concentrate and the object stable, the object more and more clear. But for the anapanasati meditation is, beginning they can know the in-breath and out-breath, the breath subtle and subtle. So this is the nature of the anapanasati meditation. The Buddha also instructed us we have to practice until the breath subtle. Finally, if the meditator they attain full jhana concentration, the breath they cannot find totally stop. So they just focus to the Patipaka nimitta, and the full jhana object is Patipaka nimitta. They just focus to the Patipaka nimitta. They can do jhana concentration. Okay, because this is the nature of the anapanasati meditation. Even though the breath subtle, he have to try to concentrate on the subtle breath. Okay, so the body swing is that because of the maybe Vayu element is predominant, so maybe pushing or something. But if like that happen, he have to control himself. He trying to stable and trying to don't pay attention the body swim and pushing. If you pay attention, he pay attention more and more moving his body. So he trying to control his body and trying to quiet and just concentrate on the breath only. Okay, not body. This is not because of the disturbed by other something or someone, because he followed the push, wind element. Okay.
Is there sign of for the obstacle to hindrance, a kind of hindrance for the meditation?
Can happen some meditator because of why your element is predominant. So, but they control and adjust again. They just pay attention to the anapana, trying to adjust their body again. Finally, their body will not swim or will not move.
Sayalay, this is the question from our brothers Edison. Yeah. When we meditate anapanasati meditation, we pay attention to the breath. But for the meditation of Rupakammatthāna, actually we should more pay attention to which kind, to so many for Rupakammatthāna, we should pay attention for what?
So depend on what he practiced. For example, he practiced hardness or roughness. If he practice hardness, he pay attention to the hardness. Okay. If he can discern hardness, roughness, heaviness, etc. So all these characteristics, one by one, 12 characteristics, he have to pay attention and concentrate on 12 characteristics.
Okay, Sayalay.
Yes.
This question from Brother Sewandi. he explained that Cita Jarupa is the materiality arising from Cita,
Yes.
composed of, as 4 Mahabhuta,
Yes.
4 Visaya Rupa,
For Visaya Rupa.
1 Ahara Rupa, 1 Pariceda Rupa, 2 Vinyati Rupa, and 3 Vikara Rupa.
Yes.
Okay. Sayalay, could you explain what is 4 Visaya Rupa, 2 Vinyati Rupa, and 3 Vikara Rupa?
For Visaya Rupa. For
Yeah.
Visaya mean, what is this? For Visaya, Upajaya, Sandati, Charada, Anichata. Is it right?
I think so.
For Visaya Rupa.
Visaya. That, Samucaya, Santati,
Upajaya, Sandati,
Jarata, Anicata.
Upajaya, Sandati,
Upajaya, Santati, Jarata, Anicata.
These 4 guys, Upajaya, will not happen the begin. That only the beginning.
Is it that the Lakana Rupa?
This is
Upajaya,
Lakana.
Santati, Jarata, Anicata, Lakana Rupa.
These are Lakana Rupa.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Visaya.
What is Visaya Rupa? I also don't know. Many kinds of Rupa not include this one. Okay, I will explain what are 28 kinds of Rupa. First is 5 Pasada Rupa. And then second is the, okay, please wait now. I explain. First is sensitive phenomena, 5 Pasada Rupa.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 4 Gojara Rupa. 4 Gojara Rupa. Here we count only 4 because tangible object is include in number 1. No?
Yeah,
So
that's sure.
after the 2, number 3 is Bhava Rupa, 2 Bhava Rupa. Okay. Okay. Number 3 is 2 Bhava Rupa. Number 4 is Hariya Rupa. You write down.
Yeah,
okay?
I know. Okay, done.
And then now 1 is Jivita Rupa. After that,
Aharaja Rupa.
Aharaja Rupa, Parichida Rupa, and then another one is 2 Vinyati Rupa, no? Kaya
Yeah.
Vinyati. And number 9 is the Vikara Rupa, physical likeness, Lahuta, Mututa, Kamanyata.
Kamanyata, that's sure.
And number 10 is the whole
Lakana.
Lakana Rupa. So Upajara, Sandati, Charada, Anichata. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So what he want to know? What
For Visaya Rupa. I
Visaya
forget
Rupa,
it.
ask him what is this for?
For Visaya Rupa, I try to find it.
So the question I want to know, what is his question?
Actually, Visaya, as I know, is Visaya Pawati, the presentation of the sun object at the sandal, Visaya Pawati. So, Visaya, Visaya is the presentation, presentation of the object in the VT. So,
Brother Anthony, I think Jitaja Rupa, what he said, the question I want to know. For Mahabhuta Rupa, maybe for Upadaya Rupa.
Actually, I think so, the 4 Upadaya Rupa. But he asked the question is Cita Rupa, is the Rupa arise from the Cita, comprising 4 Mahabhuta, and then 4 Visaya Rupa. He said 4 Visaya.
I don't know this is.
Yes, that's sure. I also confused about this because Visaya, if in VT we know the Visaya Pawati, isn't it? The presentation of the object in at the door. But it is different.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe we can skip for this one for Visaya Rupa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
the Citija Rupa arise in our body. It's a movement, no? Movement.
Yeah.
We want movement the body. This is later I will explain the next
Yeah,
matter.
that's right.
So when we movement the body, because of our mind want to move our body, at that time Citija Rupa arise. Okay, because our mind produce many Citija Rupa. This Citija Rupa we analyze 8 kinds of Paramatha Rupa. Okay, 4 Mahabhuta Rupa and 4 Upadaya Rupa. Okay, after that, when our body movement, if a body is very lightness, okay, Lahuta include it smooth, soft or smooth. So Mutuda also include the body very comfortable when we are moving. So Kamanyata also include. Okay.
Okay, Sayalay, I got it. In the 18 kind of Nibbana Rupa, real materiality, the quality of the materiality can produce the materiality like the 4 Mahabhuta Rupa.
Yes.
Okay, Patawi Apotejo Wayo, 5 Pasada Rupa, Caku Pasada, Sota Pasada, Gana Pasada, Jiwa Pasada, and Kaya Pasada. Okay, and then also said that Visaya Rupa, actually Visaya Rupa is the same meaning with Gochara Rupa.
Gochara Rupa.
That's the Gochara Rupa. Actually Visaya is same because it said here that the Visaya Rupa 4 Visaya Rupa from 7. From 7, that means Rupa Ramana, Sadara Ramana, Ganda Ramana, and Rasa Ramana. So the meaning of Visaya, he got it from his the other books, is Visaya, that means the Gochara Rupa actually.
Okay.
Yeah, only maybe the others translate the others translation. Okay, Sayalay. Actually, what he means is the Visaya Rupa is the Gochara Rupa. Actually, as he know that the Gochara Rupa are 7. Why we just said only 4?
Because Gochara Rupa is there, just now I already explained. What are these? Gochara Rupa is visible object, right?
Yeah.
Sound, smell, taste. Okay. Intangible object. Tangible object is 3. Tangible object 3 element are element water, fire, and wind element. So they can count 7 is visible object, sound, smell, taste, and element, fire element, wind element. Okay. So because of this element, water element, wind element, we omit, no? Because these are included in when we count 20 kinds of rupa, already in Mahabhuta Rupa. So when we count 20 kinds of rupa, only 4. Okay. When we count Gochara Rupa, becomes 7.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 object, 4 visible object, and 3 elements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sayalay, the next question I discussed with Brother Sewandi too. I'm also quite confused about this. That's Brother Sewandi read from one book. He said that the Utuja Rupa is the materiality arise from Utu or temperature, and then Utuja Rupa content 4 Mahabhuta. Okay.
Yes.
And then 4 Gochara Rupa.
4
Gochara Rupa. 1 Aharaja Rupa. 1 Pariceda Rupa. And 3 Vikara Rupa. Is it correct or not? So
I in Abhidhamma explain for the Utuja Rupa arise, 4 Mahabhuta Rupa, 4 Upadaya Rupa. This is 8 kinds of Paramatha Rupa, Avinipoka Rupa. Plus, sometimes the in our body, in our body, the sound appear, no, from the stomach or something. Sound, we can get the sound, no. So Gochara Rupa include, okay. Sound, the sound. Sometimes we can get the sound from our body. Okay. So and then another is the Haraja Rupa is, I don't know. Haraja Rupa, Udaja Rupa cannot miss, no? They are happen individually, Kalapa. Okay. So sometimes Udaja Rupa arise in our body. The sound also can include sometimes Lahuta, Muduta, Kamanyata, that the comfortable. We can get the including Lahuta, Muduta, Kamanyata.
Yeah.
In the same way, sometimes the you know the tree or something lah, no? The shaking, you know, the tree because of the airing, the wind blow.
Okay.
So this is three Udaja Rupa. Okay.
Yeah.
Composed of Udaja Rupa. The sound also we can hear. Okay. So at that time, I think include or not include, I don't know. But I don't know is Haraja Rupa and Udaja Rupa cannot mix together. You understand?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Vikara, 3 Vikara Rupa can happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Gochara Rupa is only one Gochara Rupa.
Yeah.
This is the sound.
Yeah.
Okay. This is later, next DhammaTalk I will explain now.
Yeah, actually, this the kind of the how can the dekat, the dekat, do dekat, the ti dekat. So this means ek avini boga rupa plus if a sound plus sound, and then the three lahuta become do dekat. Actually, that's the very very good song like that. So that's
very good sound. This is next
very good song.
I will explain about the causes. No?
So the connection with the Haraja Rupa, I'm also confused about that.
Haraja Rupa, I did not include. Cannot be together.
Okay.
Just one simple question, Sayalay. Among of your meditator, if someone only don't attain any jhana, but only attain the 4 elements until Upachara Samadhi, can he see this rupa clearly?
Your means after attain jhana?
No, he have no jhana, but only practice 4 elements until Upachara Samadhi. As we know, it's only Upachara Samadhi with no jhana. Can he analyze this rupa, what Sayalay explained to us clearly? Can he see? Yeah, clearly.
Analyze, but depend on his. Can analyze. If he really attain Upachara Samadhi, he can analyze. But he need to practice systematically, like I explained step by step. Okay.
Sayalay, this question from Mr. Yanto. Rupakammatthāna meditation is the meditation for use for before to vipassana, isn't it? So after we are from samatha meditation, before we go to vipassana meditation, should we pass the 4 element meditation first? Just can go to vipassana or not?
If he can see Paramattha Rupa, he directly go to vipassana. But to see Paramattha Rupa, the Buddha and Visuddhimagga explain everybody have to practice 4 element meditation. If they practice 4 element meditation, the meditator, if they practice vipassana 4 element meditation, they can see Rupa Kalapa. If they analyze Rupa Kalapa, they can see Paramattha Rupa. After that, they can practice vipassana. Because of the object of vipassana is the Paramattha, Nama and Paramattha Rupa. If they want to see Paramattha Rupa, first everybody, either Samatha Yanika or Vipassana Yanika, they need to practice 4 element meditation.
Sayalay, the next question from the same person, Mr. Yanto Chu. Is it possible for one, after practice samatha meditation, without practice 4 element meditation, he directly go to vipassana meditation?
So he have to understand what is vipassana object.
Sayalay, the next question is, without samatha, is it possible for the meditator directly go to vipassana?
Yes, I already explained. If they can see Paramattha Nama and Rupa, they directly can go Vipassana. Okay? This is depend on parami. You understand?
Yeah.
During the Buddha time, the Buddha taught, Buddha after DhammaTalk, they can see Nama Rupa and they practice Vipassana directly. They no need to discern 4-element meditation. They no need to discern Anapana. Okay, now they can see the Paramattha Nama Rupa or 5 aggregate. They can see, they can practice Vipassana directly, depend on their parami.
The next question, yeah, also the same person. Is it the 4-element meditation is included in samatha meditation or not?
Yes. This is the one of the samatha meditation subject. You can use the book, no, as a 4-element meditation. To get concentration, we can practice 4-element meditation. We want to see the object of the vipassana, rupa, we can practice 4-element meditation. So 4-element meditation, we can use for the both meditation, samatha, for the samatha meditation and for vipassana meditation. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayalay.
Ita uta cha amihi sabadam punya sabadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe buddha anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sambati saitiya idame nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyateyo idame nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyateyo idame nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyateyo idame punyam asawakya hotu idame punyam nibanasa pachayo hotu ama punya bagan sabba sadanam bhajemi Esabe mesamam punya bagan labantu sadhu 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 Buddha sasanam chiran titatu Buddha sasanam chiran titatu Buddha sasanam titatu sadhu sadhu sadhu